Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! I finally figured it out.
Dude,
It
this
took
took us
me.
like 10
Hold on.
minutes.
Yes.
This is hard for me to go live on the internet.
Figure it out before you hit the
Sheesh.
button.
Brothertons, get it together. I'm posting on Instagram that we're going live, so hang with me.
I told you to hurry up and do this.
I am hurried as possibly hurried can be.
Hey! Thumbs up. YouTube. Algorithm.
6 people here. Guys, we're famous.
17!
Wow, that actually...
You only said it was going to be 10.
I did. I was like, babe, do we really need to put on clean clothes? There's only going to be like 10 people here. But the 10 of you being here is still pretty awesome, guys. We haven't gone live in a long time. Eric!
Yes, buddy. What's up, man? I actually had a shirt that was the same color as this, and Kelly told me to change it.
That's cool. Look.
It is
play
really
on the
cool.
home shirt.
Yep.
I have to get really far back here to make this work.
Yeah, I designed it and only printed one because it just wasn't. It was just for you. You just wanted a shirt.
Yeah, I didn't want.
Yeah. So I look very fancy and like a button up.
Yeah, this is what it looks like to be fancy at our house, guys.
Well, I feel.
Oh, we have no children here. I think that's probably our MO.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Bo.
It's my birthday. Well, not today, but it's my birthday weekend.
We probably only do this when our kids are gone. But we did ask you ahead of time. Hopefully you got our email. If you aren't on our email list and you wished to have been included, then you can
it's not
go to our website.
Yeah, we're currently just giving away all the freebies.
It is
stuff.
sort of
Yeah.
So
you can download our expense report, and then that will get you in there.
But we're gonna let you guys know when we do a live or something like that, just through an email, because it's easy and you get a little alert on your phone, and it's kind of like getting a note from a friend. And doesn't that always sound good? Hey,
so put questions in the comments.
Yep.
I loaded them. We asked for questions over on Instagram, and then so we have a handful, and so put your questions over in the comments of what you would like for us to talk about, because we have been living in, this is our very first pandemic to live through, living in our shed to house conversion.
Okay, do you guys have kids who love love traditions? So for example, the first time we ever had like a family movie night, I think Everett was 4 or 5, and he was like, this is wonderful. We should do this every Friday night. And we do. And the first time we ever had pancakes or waffles on a Saturday, he was like, we should do this every Saturday. A lot of times our traditions are around food. And then there was I
think it was something where Finley had her
baby's first ice cream on a Saturday in the summer.
Yeah.
So now we joke on our kid. Maybe that's not good parenting. It's Bo's first time turning 38 on our property in the year of 2020. So, there you go.
So this is our first pandemic living in our shed to house conversion.
Aside from it being our first pandemic ever.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
That's why it's
so
funny.
It's extra special.
The pandemic is not funny.
Yes. That our kids are with their grandparents, because I know not everybody's kids are going to see grandparents right now.
Yeah. Let's say hi to everybody. So there's 28 of you watching.
Yeah, let us know where you're coming from.
So that we can give you a shout out. Eric, what's up, buddy? First comment. Possibly our longest hangout friend
ever.
Yes. Daybird Aviaries. Oh, wait, I think we know them over in the
Facebook
you guys
have
group.
A Facebook channel too.
And then
from Oregon, good to see you, Paradox Child.
You're
coming to Texas. That's so great.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Amy Morris.
So Think Trucking. We're doing great. And then they also asked how are conditions getting better here in Texas.
We'll definitely cover that.
Yeah.
Hey, Katie Synergy. Black Market Marvel.
Katie Black Market Marvel. Ooh.
Now I need to go check out your
that's
stuff.
Very fancy.
Rose Maria in Alabama. Your house is under contract. That is really exciting.
So for Texas, it is?
She's going from Oregon to Texas.
May we ask what part of, like, you can just say, like...
Texas is big. You don't have to name even a county.
You can say north, south.
No, it's central.
Yeah. Even if you just say the Houston area. Austin, West.
If you say the Houston area, you're covering, like, a really large space.
Yes, Houston.
Anybody else feeling their quarantine hair, guys? Our hairstylist is going to be available. It's mine. I cut everyone else's hair. I don't know how Bo made this look the way he did today because earlier it was rough. And it's only rough because I'm the one who cut it. But yeah, I'm ready for a haircut. This is not supposed to be this long. Can we just get real here for Corona for a minute?
Like, you keep talking about your hair.
This should be about this long, guys. It's too much. You're eating pie.
Yeah.
I feel bad he's eating pie.
So tell them about the pie that you made me.
All right, guys.
This is my birthday gift. It was all the pies. And it's the story of Parks and Rec.
It's very Ron Swanson of us. Yeah. Carrie Fossick's here.
Hey.
Carrying a little snugglebug baby.
This is all that's left of the apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
We have been... So, Kelly, this is the deal with the pie.
He told me to tell the story, and then he started telling me.
Well, you're not telling the story.
Well, I'm
I
also
went all the way over there to get the pie. I know. I can't.
Oh, from Brazil.
Kelly just likes seeing y'all pop up.
All my exes live in Texas.
And I'm like the radio. Like,
that's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. Heirloom permaculture. Ooh, Gigi in California. Hope you're doing well.
Okay, so
and Michael in Asheville. Yeah, he's right. This is my favorite
you gotta,
part.
You gotta stop. You can read them.
Okay, here's a pie story. There's a really great Patty Griffin song about making pie. Patty Griffin? I think it's Griffin. I always screw that up.
You're killing the story.
But it's so good. And I sing that song, and then I also sing the song Sugar, Butter, Flour from Waitress, the musical. And we made a lot of pies, guys. We made a lot of pies. We made 5 pies. They all had sourdough crusts. So obviously...
They're healthy.
If you're...
Fermented pie.
So if you guys are not making sourdough crust with your sourdough discard, you're missing out. It's so good. And we use like a coconut sugar in it. So it's a little bit easier on your kind of glucose sugar spikes. So not healthy, guys, but healthy-ish. I feel like a lot of things in our life are ish. So we made a cherry pie with this like crumble on top. It was like a almond and pecan crumble, so good on top. And then we made an apple pie, also so good. It had coconut milk in it, guys. So good. Then the pecan pie was pretty standard, except we used the coconut sugar.
It was yummy.
It was good. It was good. It's pecan pie. Texans have to make pecan pie. And then the win, guys. The win. And I just, sometimes you feel from the Lord, you just know in your spirit that you know something. And I knew that I was supposed to make 2 of those pies. And I made 2 of those pies. And we had friends over for Bo's birthday.
Did you say what pie it was?
I'm about to. And we had friends over for Bo's birthday, and I felt so wise. I was a Proverbs 31 woman in this moment. When after they left, I could pull out the second chocolate pie. It was so good. And we ate it for breakfast for the last 3 days. And it's gone now.
Yes.
It's gone.
So if you comment, who here watches Parks and Recreation? Well, watched. It's not on anymore. So
we actively watch that.
And who watches it? And who still watches it whenever you're doing the dishes or just folding laundry over on Netflix? And then of you people that are watching it, who know? I mean, you know. The scene of Ron Swanson. Ron is just the absolute best.
You have to, like,
and So it's whenever he goes to get a steak, like he wants to go to his favorite steakhouse and they're closed down, and then he ends up getting Chris Traeger makes him a mushroom burger and he's all mad. So then he goes to this diner and he sits down in the diner bar and he says,
there we go. David Glendenning.
Yes.
You're our people, David.
Yes.
Always have been.
Love it.
You and Eric, OG viewers.
Yep. And he sits down and he says, I want all the bacon and eggs. And the waiter walks out, he goes, son, come here. Come here. I think you might have misunderstood what I said. You might have understood. You might have heard, I want a lot of bacon and eggs. No, I didn't say that. I said, I want all the bacon and eggs that you have. And that's what I said to Kelly. Kelly was like, do you want me to make like a cake? Do you want like a yellow chocolate cake or a cookie cake? I said, no, I want all the pies. I don't know if you might have misunderstood. I want all the pies.
Yeah.
And that's what she did this entire week for me for my birthday, is make all of the pies. I'm also going to show you this.
Yes.
She also got me this.
An N Synergy. I am feeling you. We see you. I got you. But hold off in the comments and we'll talk about it, because I don't want you to hijack it and run some people off that might want to hear about that later. Okay? Can we be cool with that?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I love Jesus, but I drink a little. That's on the Ellen show.
So did Jesus.
Yes. So I have a buddy here in town, Cody. Cody, if you're watching this, you're the man. He got me into doing a gentleman's drink, and Kelly got me this for my birthday.
It's from Texas, y'all.
So evidently, all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. This is not bourbon. This is whiskey.
There you go.
Yes. It is delicious. I'm not a pro at this, but it's very, very good. And then Kelly got me this.
Oh, yeah. This is really fun. This is probably more for me.
I was so excited.
It's a good thing our house is small, guys, because he's literally walking. You're facing our living room. He's walking to the left. We're sitting in our kitchen, and he's getting.
The fridge is like literally right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kelly got me. I
don't know if you're really taking this. Okay. While he does this, I'm gonna say hello to a few more of you. So, your ice is.
So look, it's these giant ice cubes. We need to do dishes, but basically, you pop one of these giant ice cubes out, and you put it in your glass, and it keeps the whiskey.
At this one.
Oh, yes, that's really neat.
Guys, I gotta kind of shade it. Do you see it? It's a circle. It's a circle ice cube. That's my favorite. Totally bought that for me. Yes. Okay, we'll say hey to a couple more of you. Margaret, hey. Eric is always in clutch with the emojis. How there is a bourbon whiskey emoji, I don't know. Hey, Lewis Scott. Hey, Noah. Life After Debt. Glad you're here.
That's cool.
Hey, Michael. Oh, you guys have great questions. Yeah, we should jump on those.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready. Sorry. It's my birthday. I gotta talk about the birthday stuff.
Yeah, it's like the kid at show and tell.
Yes. It really is. Oh, I also got this big light.
Ooh, a lava rock ice cube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. So like something that you would freeze and then you put it in and it doesn't. My dad has those. They're like little like steel things, not the lava rock ones, but he has some little like steel ones. They kind of look like nuggets. Oh, hi, Evie. So my best friend is on here and all of her children are saying hello. So we say hi to all of you.
Okay, let's do the question.
Hey, Quietly Gardening. Thanks. Lewis Scott really wants to know, and I think this is a very fair question. Why don't we get goats? But here's what I'll actually recommend you reframe that question to say, why don't we have goats yet?
Well, my question would be, have you ever raised goats? Like, do you currently have goats?
Lewis Scott
and Mr. Scott, and like, what is the reasoning of why, like? Because yes,
a lot of people love goats,
and it's an emotional thing whenever we say that I'm currently not interested in goats.
It's an emotional thing for you to say that?
No, it's an emotional thing that people get mad and say. There's been one person that says, I was about to subscribe to your channel, but I stopped because you said that you don't want to raise goats. I know that's weird.
For everyone.
No, but the reason why is because I chase children around all day. Like I have 4 children. We have 4 children. We both work from home. We homeschool. We've always homeschooled, not just now. And I don't want to chase livestock. And everybody says that if you get goats, they are going to get out.
Well, I think this is also one of those things. It's really exciting to have a new homestead. And it's very, a lot of people we know have purchased farms and moved on to farms. Remember that when we found this place, it's 100% raw. Like no water, no electric, no home, no outbuilding, no any kind of even lean-to. Forget a lean-to. Like there was no stable, no anything. Everything we have done is built. So this is our philosophy, and I don't know if this helps any of you. Remember, this is a very flexible model when it comes to homesteading. Everyone's going to do it their own way. So our priority was these 4 walls. So these walls that you see around you, that was our priority. And it was urgent to us to get things ready before the summer, in the way a lot of people get their crops ready before the winter. If you have not read Laura Ingalls Wilder books, it was a very farmer boy scenario, working with the seasons, but with our house. And now we've just stepped out past these 4 walls to like our zone 1. So that's going to be like, right? We're still in zone 1.
A little bit.
To our garden. So we've planted some things this year, which is amazing. Our rabbits have reproduced. Our chickens are laying consistent eggs. We've even added to our flock. And the pigs, the pigs are growing, and they're going to be ready for harvest in a couple of weeks.
No.
Like
months.
Well,
July.
I would say 8 months. 8 weeks is a long.
Oh, okay.
I would say 8 weeks is weeks.
Okay.
And in that, like everybody should be making mistakes so that they can learn from them. And we have tried to mitigate those mistakes by taking step by step, recognizing what we're actually capable of doing. And we are not capable of chasing after goats or creating an infrastructure for them. We would not be rotationally grazing our goats at this point in our property, which still needs a lot of love and a lot of pasture put in. So in the short answer is we're just not ready.
Well, our neighbor has goats, and we have seen our neighbors. We love our neighbors. If you ever find our channel, we love our neighbors. But we found our neighbors eating our garden.
No,
our neighbors goats. Our neighbors. I'm hitting our neighbors' goats eating our garden. If we have goats here on the property, eventually they're going to be eating the garden. If we have these baby trees, eventually they're going to destroy those baby trees. It's just this is what Joel Salatin says about goats, and I'm not an expert on goats, and we don't need to have this be the non-goat channel, but he says that goats are good for like 5 years, and then after about 5 years, that's whenever you're now used to how to raise them, and they've already eaten all of your brush and everything, and it's time to get rid of them. So we're using the pigs to do some of the things that a lot of people would recommend goats for. And then we'll get meat at the end of it. Not that you can't eat your goats, but just that this was what we chose to do in the first full year of living here. We haven't even been here 2 years yet. So there's a lot still yet to be done on the property. There are a lot of exciting projects that we have, which honestly include more family things. Like we really want a zip line to go up. We have the zip line. We just need the zip line to go up. We're looking at when and more not like if we do, but more when do we get our pond. So there are a lot of things that are moving and grooving, and they just don't involve goats first. All right, so I'm going to go my buddy Josh over at Gander Flight, the YouTube channel Gander Flight. So go subscribe to him. He gave me some questions. Hopefully some of these questions stir up new questions in you, and then we just post it over in the comments. Give like some stars or in all caps or something, just so we can easily see the questions. So he says, my son would like to know why you made your shed to house out of wood instead of metal. Very good question. And I don't know if I've ever thought about that. At the time that we were looking at, I think it was because I wanted wood studs because wood is easier to deal with in terms of getting things like up on walls, maybe. Like I understand how to fasten things to wood. Fastening things to metal, I don't know. I guess that was why I just never
I think also
considered
the companies that we were looking at, like most sheds are not built out of metal. Pole barns are, and barn dominiums are, but most sheds are built out of wood, and not all shed companies are going to be able to set you up the way you want to on the front end to build it into a house. There are some ways that you make your shed house ready. A
metal barn dominium, you still are going to go in and frame with wood.
Yeah.
So you're still framing with wood. And I was just like, this is what we were going to do. Okay, another question that Gator Flight asked was, what was the hardest part about transitioning from suburban life to the country life?
I think friends. Like, hands down, easiest answer for me is friends. We didn't have built-in community here. We'd spent 12 years cultivating a community in the Houston suburbs. Katy, I mean, you guys know we're from Katy. And moving to the country is not only like a rural area. We've even said this in our area, there are a lot of small lots, even on this like part of the fringe that we live on from in the county. And it's feeling more and more crowded as more lots get sold. But the reality is we don't have that built-in community the way that we had in Katy. And I think transitioning, not only for us, but for our kids, it just takes a lot of intentional work and a lot of trust. Like, I had to trust that moving here, God was going to not take us from one place and put us in a place that was less than, that even if it was hard work to create a community here, that it was for something much bigger or much more intentional or much more beautiful for our growth, but for like the good of what we had next in life. So I think transitioning is difficult, but there's also really a lot of amazing things right now. Is we have this technology that we just weren't even utilizing. So then when we do get together with friends, it's extra special. And trusting that like he is who he is in the city as he is in the country. And it almost strips down all those extra things that you were relying on for comfort or for like that were just so convenient. That strips away and it just kind of exposes your need and what he's working on in you. What has been the good things over the last couple of months? Gosh, I don't even think I could list all the good things. You know, we've got a couple people on here who are concerned about quarantine and the virus, and we're definitely going to break our silence in a more official way, probably on a podcast, because it's easier to really talk that through and say what we want to say eloquently. But obviously, in the last few weeks or few months, I couldn't be more grateful to be on 7 acres. I am thankful for our children that this has been less painful, less confusing, less fear-driven, because we can detach from what the world is doing really easily and then pick and choose when to draw our attention to the news or when to draw our attention to like some more deep concerns. And that's something that I have eggs every single day. I never had to worry about eggs. I have neighbors who are encouraging and willing to like reach out and extend a hand and not be afraid for any kind of contact with us, but who are like, oh my gosh, let me give you these paletas that I have in my house so that I can bring it to you over the fence. And the kids just love our neighbors. And or our neighbors who let us use their trencher for free so that we can add water into our garden. Like I think the hardest thing that I've noticed is whenever you're living in the country, moving from suburbia, you're already secluding yourself a little bit. And so whenever we went into quarantine,
everybody got secluded. And so we went from feeling secluded
Right.
from all of our old friends and community to like, holy crap, like we really can't go see anybody. Like,
Right.
so it
and
was
they can't
already
come to us. And this is the pretty, like, there's hardship. I think certainly everybody's got their own ish that they're dealing with in this. Like, I think quarantine's exposed a lot of things that people look to for comfort instead of the one thing that's going to give it to you. But I will tell you that at one point I just snapped and I was like, if one other person tells me that this doesn't change my life or that they're homeschooling, we will get some feelings
they don't understand
out like this.
Say what people...
But I'll get comments like, oh, this probably hasn't changed anything in your life. And yes, there are some things that are so much easier about living in the country. But my kids are isolated and we had to cancel field trips and we didn't do the same labs that we were going to do for science. And we didn't see our friends the way that they are used to, or our cousins or our family. And
Ella wasn't able to do dance. Like we were literally that week.
The day she was going to start dance, they shut it down.
And the boys went to karate. Like our week was kind of revolved around Tuesday, Thursdays, our boys going to karate. Because that's the one thing that they have here. I mean,
if you are a family who found themselves schooling at home or doing distance learning at home, I just want to encourage you. That is not homeschool. If you have felt discouraged or ick about this, I know that this might sound like a broken record if you follow me on Instagram, but it's so important. Like, what we are being expected to do in distance learning is not the same as homeschool. And education in the home has been centuries long until the Industrial Revolution, when they needed workers and when they needed future workers. So we had to condition our people. That's another call, another time. But I want to encourage you that if you felt like this is difficult, it's because you're being asked to do something that's wildly difficult. And if you've thought of homeschooling, I promise you it is not the distance learning and the reporting for a schedule and the Zooming. That's just very, very much of a different thing. And I think we're all a little bit confused because of the information that's going around. So all I can do is say, be rooted in the things that aren't changing and the messages that aren't flip-flopping. Something that's true before the virus and after.
All right, find some.
Okay, so someone asked, what are we doing with our water that we harvested?
They are full. The tanks are
they've had to be drained a little bit.
No,
they've had to be
the overflow.
They've had to be, yes.
Well, the overflows worked. So we were not, some people said, you're having 4-inch going into the tanks and you're only having 1 inch come out. It doesn't actually, it's not like 4 inches like
I like how your voice changes, like to interpret how valid you feel like a question is.
Well, I would have wanted to do the black and white, like slow-mo.
Let me tell you.
So it's the overflows working fine, and we've had some really heavy rains, and it's doing great.
I'm so thankful for you went in.
So we are using that water for definitely our little baby fig tree and for our mulberries. Our mulberries are not producing. We have figs on the fig tree, but the mulberries are not. They're still growing, so I'm not sure.
We don't know why they're not fruiting yet.
The main thing about the tanks is we are in a dry climate here. Not dry like Arizona, but dry compared to other places in Texas. And we're also up on a hill. So we get zero runoff on our property. The main part of the tanks is to harvest the heavy rain in the rainy season of the spring and the fall, but mainly the spring. And then by the end of the summer, we're going to drain those tanks dry in our zone 1 area. So instead of having to use our city water that has chlorine in it, because you don't want to die of bacteria, it makes sense. But it's just not as good for irrigation or gardening or stuff. So we're going to use, so that's what Fukunoka, put it down in the comments. He's a big Sumo Fukuoka. He's a big permaculture guy. He's dead. But it's a saying that he said is never end a drought with a full pond. And so that's what we're going to use. We're going to use our 5,000 gallons as a small pond. of storage, and we're going to empty those tanks out probably by mid-August or so, or definitely mid-September. We're going to slowly irrigate with that water once it stops raining. So we're about to hit a drought here in the next month. That's what we're planning on using it for. That and then the garden. We would like to be able to move that water over to our garden area in an IBC tank. Just haven't gotten to do that.
And I think one thing we've learned from harvesting water is wherever we are going to put a little lean-to or some sort of structure for animals, we'll catch into a barrel, and then we'll use that to either care for that livestock or to water and irrigate an area. That's we have 7 acres, so this little space that we're on.
Life after death.
Yeah.
After death, we have 7 acres.
And so we're not obviously going to use that 5,000 gallons to hydrate all of the 7 acres. There are some other things that we're going to share with you permaculture wise that we do on our property to sort of, even now, Bo just did a huge mow toward the back 5 acres. And we could see, we walked it just yesterday, and we could see there's almost like a basin in the flow of the land. So there's some things that we're going to do with fallen trees to help restore our property.
This is a great book. This is what I really want to design our property off of this, by Brad Lancaster. This is the dude in Arizona. He ended up doing this amazing thing to where he got it become legal law in Arizona, well, at least in his county or city, that every residential lot had to have cuts in the curbs so that the water wouldn't just run into the sewage. It would go into your property with sunken basins. And then once he did that, all the trees started growing up. It just started, I mean, it was just, it totally transformed his little suburban area. Great book.
Hey, Karen. Good to see you too. Glad you're here.
I need to put that on the website. Okay. Did you find another one? Yes, we have dogs. We have two dogs. We have one
one rescue pup.
Yep.
And one, Roddy Great Dane. He's huge, guys. There's no way he is full-blown Rottweiler. He is enormous.
Yes, he's a big boy. And he loves that ball.
Why don't you grab a Josh question?
Okay. So Kev's gonna find some. So put comments over there, and I'm gonna get another question. This is from Ganderflight, my buddy Josh. If you were starting the journey over again, what tool or tools would you have gotten sooner? So Josh also runs the DIY Fixer Facebook group. Josh, what is it, bud? Man, DIY Fixer Tinkerer Facebook group. Awesome group. Eric, our friend Eric Rosendahl here in the comments, he's in that group. It's such a cool group. So if I would have been doing this again, I probably would say, because I already had a drill, an impact driver. I bought a post hole digger, 2 post hole diggers before. I bought an auger before we moved here. I had a miter chop saw. I would say if I had to do it over again, I would have splurged and gotten the table saw. So I'm Ryobi. Ryobi, it hasn't failed me yet, and it's very well priced. It's not, I don't know. It's less than DeWalt, and some people might say you don't like it, but I've gotten anything that I needed to get done with my Ryobi tool. So I have this contractor Ryobi table saw that is a little bit portable, and man, it has just saved me so many times using that. So I probably would have.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think it's hard to say. Maybe like as a generic, what should everyone get? Because everybody's starting at their different places. But for the floorboards, for all of those things that we need to do interior finishing, that really was a good tool.
Yeah, but the tools, you have to have an impact driver. Don't even think. If I had to have one or the other, I would totally just go straight with the impact driver. Because I don't do pilot holes. That's all I use my drill for, is doing like pilot holes for more fine-tuned stuff. It's still good because it makes it faster, but I would probably get the combo. And then a miter saw. Probably I would, if that's the one thing that I think I cheaped out on and that eventually I would like a better one, is a better miter saw that can cut bigger boards. So right now my miter saw can't cut like a 2x10. So I have to cut it and then I have to flip the board and cut it again.
Yeah,
it's a pain.
that's true.
And so if I had
or
like,
the circular saw that does not get rid of the board.
That was just the one that came with the kit. Yes. Probably, and then also I think you need an electric circular saw. I think that the battery-powered circular saws are not that strong, and sometimes you just need to cut a really long thing of plywood and rip cut it or something, and it just the battery dies. So
I don't know. I would maybe even say the chainsaw
and
the weed eater.
Well, yeah. I mean, yes,
those were huge because we couldn't just mow everywhere. I don't know, guys. Maybe we need to do a whole chat about the tools.
Hey, so we've redone our website. It's still in the works, but go check out Better. Not right now. Stay here with us.
Bo did it, guys.
Well,
I was super impressed.
Yeah, so we updated bettertogetherlife.com, and so we have a things we love resources little tab, and that's gonna take you to a whole bunch of stuff. They are Amazon affiliate
things that we actually use. Yes. Hopefully you guys know that. We're never going to be like, hey, you should use this if it's not something we're actually using and loving, because that stinks.
Yeah.
Okay. So One Chosen Mama asks, what do you think is the best way to build a homestead on a hill? Wow. That probably has a lot of sub-questions, like, is there already a house there? Does all the water run off? Like when you say on a hill, are you at the top of the hill like we are? And then there's other people's properties?
When we say we're at the top of the hill, what I mean is we do not get any outside runoff onto our property. Mm-hmm. You might be saying you're like on a mountain hill, like you're on a rock hill, like you're, like our slope is more like this. Everywhere on 7 acres, you might be like that. So do you currently own the property?
Yeah.
That would be my first question. I would say if it's your first homestead, don't buy something that is really sloped and hard.
Yeah.
Now you can do cool things. Oh, so that would be my thing is one, do you own it? And then second would be figure out where the water goes and put your house in the middle of that hill so that you can store water up top, and then you could actually use gravity feed to get the water from up top down to your house. Then you can build ponds within that to where the ridges.
I would say even resources are probably the best thing to do. I wish more people would be willing, like, yes, do this thing, do the conversation, ask us on Instagram, ask what our experience is, but do research. So my favorite thing is to point you to resources. So the rainwater harvesting book that Bo showed you, anything by Jeff Lawton, if you're into permaculture, start looking up things about like terracing. So more specific to your question isn't just how do we homestead on a hill? You want to know, how do I produce food on a hill? How do I best orient the house that I'm going to build on this hill? You want to know a lot more than just how do I homestead. And so start to dig in beyond just a Google, but join some groups that are permaculture based if that's what you're interested in. And I only come back to that because that's what we do. If you're interested in shed to house things like what we live in, then go to our Facebook group, Shed to House on Facebook. There's like 60,000 people there, guys, and not all of them are building the way that we have. 65. There's a whole lot of people, but a lot of them are, and some of them are at the very beginning phases where they're asking about everything from a floor plan to rainwater harvesting or building off grid. There's a lot of variety there that I think you can find. Hoof and Peck Homestead, that sounds really exciting. You guys are just about to list your house. Way to go. Yeah, definitely look at Texas. We're pretty happy about Texas right now.
Hey, the Texas boys are here.
Hey, Texas
What's up,
boys?
Texas boys? Okay, so while you're looking for the next one, I'll jump in with
Hey, Mohammed from Sri Lanka. Glad you're here.
Ooh.
We would love a tractor, Mike. That is a regular conversation here.
I called the Kubota
Of course he did.
dealer, and I was thinking, hey, quarantine, the economy's dying. Y'all have any so evidently automobiles, auto dealers are really hurting right now. And so you can get good deals if you need to buy a new car. I was thinking maybe at tractors. The guy says no, man, we're busier now than we ever have been. I guess those stimulus checks. People are buying more tractors. So another question from Ganderfly is saying, what is the favorite time of day on our homestead and why?
Oh, gosh.
So far, I think it would be...
Should we talk about how differently you and I view times of day?
That's why I would say...
I'm getting coffee.
That's why I think it would be the evening.
Yeah.
Because we're all out there. So we are about 60% wooded on all of our 7 acres. Where our house site was, I would say that was 85% wooded.
Yeah.
So we had to cut down a lot of trees. And again, I've said this many times, I did not do it the way that I wish I would have done. But the good thing is how they cleared it. We just have where the rabbits are. I've talked about that. The rabbits are in deep, some heavy, thick trees. Mm-hmm. Those trees go really high and they face west. So where our little fireplace is, that come, 5:30, 6 o'clock, it is all in complete shade.
Most of our little, if you guys have seen the garden tours or just even the drone shots, those are some of my favorite things. If you guys homestead, this is a side note, but it's going to be me who's let's talk about wonderful things. Take photos if you can. Take photos of absolutely everything, whether you're going to YouTube or Instagram or share it on social media. It's amazing to look back even a year later. The Dohertys, who do a lot of rainwater harvesting and fencing information about how to homestead, they talked about in a year you won't recognize your property after you start intensively rotationally grazing. But we've seen the same thing, because where you started this build and you just took one little day at a time, one project, sometimes even once a month. Now when you look at it, there's this sweet spot.
Yep.
This little tiny zone is such a sweet spot because the shade is so intentional. Everything, I'm a shotgun and I want to get things done and I just want to get it done yesterday. And Bo is so patient and so proven over and over that his patience is wisdom, that now when I look, I'm like, this is a good nook in the middle of the trees. And evening, I would say that evening is easily our favorite time. Bo is for sure an early morning person I feel all the feels. He's an early morning person when when life is normal. And we haven't had our normal in a really long time, since we sold our house.
Funny when the kids are away whenever I wake up early now.
Well, that's good. But I'm a late night person, and I'm reordering that. My friend Jess at Roots and Refuge was talking about, your laziness is a choice. And let's just be really honest. I am super unmotivated to be not lazy in terms of getting up and starting the day at a normal person time.
Kelly
I would like to stay in bed a long time. But that said, once we get outside, we're outside and we're digging in our garden or we're planting something new. And the evenings are amazing. So sometimes we'll even do dinner really early, 4 o'clock, and then spend the whole evening outside, especially if you're in a hot climate. Your trees are your best friends because it feels very bearable to be out even in our really hottest months because our trees are awesome. So evenings are our favorite time for sure.
Okay, so Tina asks, was it difficult to get, I guess in our house, was it difficult to get it plumbed and electric in there, and were there any regulations on it? We hired those two things out, so it wasn't necessarily difficult for us. it took a chunk of our cash that we got from selling our house in Katy, Texas. So it wasn't difficult. Now, I am not happy with the plumbing.
Yeah.
Love our plumber. Totally going to have him back. The electric, I did not do a good job. So
we just didn't know what we didn't know.
Well, I ended up having, like, our good friend helped us be able to get the electric going, and that was amazing, like getting the water over there. And then I had to hire a couple of different electricians, and or two electricians, and there was not seamless. Like, it just wasn't. It didn't.
They were passing the baton.
Yeah, and I probably, everything's safe, but we live to where there is no building code, so you do not have to get any inspections for plumbing or electric. The guy who did the rough electric probably should have, I don't know. It's just, I would say get someone. I went with someone a little bit younger because I thought that I connected with them. I thought that they were cool. Probably should have went with the boring older guy
who knew his stuff.
Who was like
consistent and sort of steadfast.
Yeah, I should have went with the guy. So I would say that don't go with the guy who you think is cool, because that's what I did. I think we were probably wanting to meet friends, and he had like younger kids, and it just, once he started working, I was like, I don't like how this is going. It all went good because it was just a rough electric. But anyway, Okay, so another one, Catherine asks, have you considered grapevines for maybe homemade wine?
I'm highlighting this one, Catherine, because it's so timely. Bo definitely just did a story on his Better Together Life Instagram. And then we got probably 4 messages like, don't eat those. They could be poisonous.
Yeah.
They're far from being ready to be ripe or eaten. We are determining at the moment so many good things about living here, guys.
I thought that I had muscadine grapes.
Right. They might be Mustang grapes, which is still edible, however, highly acidic. And they say they're really only good for like edible after you've cooked them down. But we totally want to make our own wine, our own mead, there are lots of things that we want to make.
Talk about the blueberries.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say is living here is so cool. So the very first year that we started camping on here, I think I was pregnant with Finley. So Bo would come up with the kids, and there's a cute little moment in a video Bo did where Ollie says, they're dewberries, because they do it, which means nothing except it's adorable, and he was 3. And they were picking dewberries just where they found them. But remember, our property was super overgrown, never tended. No one had ever done any stewardship of this land. So since then, last year we picked some dewberries. There's some really cute photos and videos of Finley, literally like life imitating art, and she was Sal. And every kerplink, kerplank, kerplunk, Finley is eating. She looked like she had, devoured an animal by the end of our trip, and we had none left over. So this year, little by little, we went out before the dewberries were even red, and we found patches that had dewberry flowers on them. Then we kind of like made a mental note. Then weeks and weeks and weeks later, we saw they were starting to turn green, and we knew we should check back on these places in a few weeks. So and
then wild hogs started coming and eating them, so we were worried that we weren't going to get any.
So it was we found 4 really good patches. Like we were like, honey pot, each time, like you'd hear someone holler, honey pot. And then we go over there and we pick up about a quart of berries. And then we come back a few weeks later. It was over 8 weeks that we got about 2 gallons of berries, and we're going to make them into jam. Yeah, that's what I really want to make. We could do a cobbler if there's some left over, but I really want to make dewberry jam on our sourdough bread. Like, I'm going to talk about all the beautiful romantic things, and that's what I want. I want dewberry jam from my property on my sourdough bread, and then maybe one day we'll have a cow and we'll make butter from our milk. It'll be like the most incredible live off your land food. Although the flour is just from Costco. So let's be realistic at least.
Okay.
How do
Josh
we like
again,
our
or
coffee?
Fly. I just think it's fun. It's a good question. So it's going to go really fast. We do half calf because I go crazy on full calf.
It's true.
So we do. We just get it from Costco, organic, and we grind it here. Then we put this. I don't know why Kelly likes this. I guess it's because it doesn't have the like aluminum can coconut milk.
Yeah. So the like carton for this is BPA free, and it's got no. The lining's just healthier.
Amazon, and then I would put 1 scoop of this.
And I put 2 scoops.
Oh, okay. So I can do. Well, I guess maybe I'll put 2 scoops.
2 scoops
now.
is like a full serving.
Yeah. So these 2 things. That's how we do our half calf coffee until Kelly says, "Hey, this pandemic is coming back. We need a dairy cow, a miniature Jersey."
I know. How freaking cute would that be? So adorable, guys.
Come on. Hashtag Kelly get Bo a miniature Jersey dairy cow.
When I get an alpaca.
That's a long hashtag.
When I get an alpaca, you can.
How they do nothing.
Yes, those are good questions. We actually really want to get a fancy coffee machine when we get our
guest house office.
Okay, it's not official.
I'm not telling you.
It's not here yet.
It's gonna be really cool sound. Like I gotta.
But we are working on a second shed to house. We won't even tell you what we're calling it yet because it's a really cute name.
Yes.
And we might make T-shirts about it because it's gonna be so cute.
So we're gonna get a fancy like espresso maker once we get our office, because I've never said. So I've always said that living in a small space shed to house is awesome if you have land. It's great. It's amazing. I've never said that it is easy living in a small space
working from home.
You homeschool your 4 kids and both parents work from home in 2 different, Kelly, like our full-time income is doTERRA, our doTERRA business. And then we have the side hustle of YouTube that supports doTERRA. And then we have shed. We just have a lot of things, and we need a place, an office space that we can like high five each other and say, all right, we're going to take care of the kids.
Or even like where you can put something down and it'll be there when you come back.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things missing in this little home of ours because somebody needed to go to bed in our bedroom that is now our office during the day. Have you guys seen those posts where Bo is working in the bathroom? That is an example of some of the challenges, but is it worth it completely?
I either edit out here in the living space at night or I edit in our unfinished bathroom.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Okay, so Catherine says that they had a Jersey cow and that it was very, very good milk. Think butter, cream, and ice cream. Yes. And think about that. What would you do with that much?
Okay, so first,
raw milk.
Cows freaked me out. We went to Homesteaders of America last year, and I sat on this great talk from Jo Winger at the Prairie Homestead, and she was talking about dairy cows versus dairy goats. And at the end of that, a dairy cow sounded so romantic, but it wasn't until we got the pigs that I could really see the value of a dairy cow. Milk or cream for our coffee, cream for butter. We could make buttermilk, baking, all the things. But the pigs made me reconsider. If we continue to do pigs, which after this first part, I'm like, heck yeah. After this first group of pigs, I really feel like we could do this again. Maybe pigs either biannually or just once a year. Because he's finding out when you guys are finding out. Because if we did get a dairy cow, that's a place where that skim milk could go. Mm-hmm. I feel like, okay, we could do that for sure. Because it would go to feeding our pigs.
It costs a lot of money feeding these pigs.
Because I insist.
It's okay.
Soy-free.
Soy-free.
Corn-free. Non-GMO.
Eric wanted to ask, non-coffee related, what is our drink of choice?
You're super into the East Ciders.
I do like those ciders.
Yeah, Austin has a company called East Ciders, and it's hard cider. It's really good. It's like apple apple meaty type cider.
I mean, we're in Texas, and so it's a really good one for the summer.
We're really lucky.
I can't drink beer. We can do the gluten-free beer, but
What's
anytime
that brand?
Omission.
Omission.
And then my buddy Josh does one. What is it? Gander Flight. What is that drink? It's a good beer. It's a gluten-free beer. And so for some reason, if I drink like a Shiner or some kind of yummy beer that I used to like,
but
the next
super
day,
lightweight too.
yeah, it hurts. So I'm really enjoying. I'm new at the whiskey.
Yeah.
And then also we do the Boda Box red wine.
Heck yeah.
And I don't do white.
But if you have a cleaner
white
version of red wine, I'd be open to it because I know normal red wine is just not so healthy.
Really?
It's got some gross stuff in it. The more you know. We're just figuring it out along the way.
I did not know.
Okay, I like Moscow mules, guys. Oh, and I like ranch water. If you don't, nobody loves ranch water, but I love ranch water. It's just tequila, Topo Chico, and you can either use fresh lime. I use a drop of lime essential oil. It is so good. And Bo's like, it tastes like your beer got watered down on the river.
If you live in a place where you have like you get in the tube and you ride in the river and you drink and you pee on yourself in the tube.
It does not taste like that.
It doesn't taste like the pee, but that's what riding in the river tube is like.
You do pee in
It's
the river
whenever
all
you're
day long.
in college and you just get like Natty Light and the water gets and that's what it tastes like. It tastes like it's a watered down drink. Okay.
Natty Light is so gross and so used to being so gross that in college I remember they had like a number on the back and we totally cheated and called the number and we're like, well, actually, no, in that case it was like half of them were really gross. And they sent us a check. Like it wasn't even like, here's a free coupon for Natty Light. It was like, here's your money back. We get it. It was like, we get it. This is not that good. This is so good.
Gluttony. Gluttony.
Oh, yeah. It looks like gluttony, but it's
gluttony.
Gluttony.
You find one.
All right. I'll touch on this super quick. Natalie, we have looked at Kuni Kuni. Ours were pigs that we could get really quick and easy. Not even from like a fancy breeder, just friends that we had here locally. And they were like, hey, we've got piglets. Do you want them? The answer was yes. And thankfully, so many of you guys have asked us about whether you can buy our pigs. And a couple of you got in on that. So thank you.
Sold out.
Yeah, not only for like supporting us, but like supporting that idea that getting closer to your food source is so important. And if you are paying attention to anything on the news right now, we are potentially in a very hurting spot right now. We all knew the food system was broken when all of your fruits and veggies taste so bland and the same, and the nutrients are gone from them, and you're just not feeling satiated by your food. The same is true, and it doesn't mean that you have to live on 7 acres to do that. It doesn't mean that you even have to grow your own food. There are people in your area growing food. There are farmers markets, there are local ranchers, and they're trying to find a way to get that food source and close that food system circuit so that you get closer to your food. If you hear anything from this chat here today, do that. It is the weekend. This time next week, find your local farmers market. Get to know your local farmer. They are so happy to serve you. And sometimes they'll even grow new things because you request them. So get to know them and find out how not only you can support your local community, but that food can obviously support your health. I think that's really important for us to say here. If we didn't say that during this hour, we would be remiss.
Yep. Matthew Thomas, what's up, man? I haven't talked to you in a long time. Hope it's all awesome up in Colorado. You're in like the pretty time right now. It's gorgeous, I'm sure. Okay, let's see.
Soil restoration. Yeah, Margaret, that's really important too. Sometimes it can be as simple as just looking at where your soil's vulnerable and then start wood chipping it. Wood chip and get some worms and before we freak out about nitrogen levels and and how acidic your soil is just starting to cover your earth. I think we loved Back to Eden gardening.
Yeah.
I think just the philosophy of getting our minds right about what our relationship is with what we grow is really important.
Yeah. There's also, I bought the movie Biggest Little Farm.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's very beautiful. The guy is he's a wildlife cinematographer that made this movie, and he turned farmer out in California. It's a really good movie. It's a really beautiful movie, and it's a kind of an educational thing. It's not like exciting that much, but that's my review of it. But it talks about soil restoration and stuff like that. But yeah, what Kelly says, just get organic matter on top and cut down erosion.
Anyone can compost.
Yeah. Okay.
Julie from Katie, yay! Glad you're here. Homeschooling, we probably know a lot of the same families if you're homeschooling in Katy.
Yes.
It's kind of like if you've ever had a baby in Katy outside of the hospital, you probably know Kathy Rude. That's kind of like the same thing with homeschooling. You probably know a lot of the same families.
Catherine asked, are we getting good veggies from our garden? Not yet.
Well, when your
really.
2-year-old is as vicious as rabbits, yes, you struggle with food. There was one day Finley goes, I'm getting this for the picnic. And I obviously wasn't looking. And she's just in there snatching up the tops of the romaine lettuce that I had planned for dinner. But we are starting to grow a lot of things. Our cucumbers are coming in. Our sugar snap peas are on their way out. The cabbages are forming that had a lot of worms, and we really didn't get onto them. They were the cabbage worms.
Like
cabbage
caterpillar type worms.
And just eating holes through them, but we tried to get after them.
They're
and
wrong.
Fed them to the chickens, turned them into eggs. That was really cool. What else? Tomatoes. Tomatoes are
about
popping
to be,
up.
Yeah, we're going to get some good tomatoes this year. We're going to get some cucumbers. Our soil doesn't have worms, like earthworms.
Our soil doesn't have much of anything.
So we're many things. One, it's just how high we are. Mm-hmm. The water just doesn't soak in. So we're having to rebuild a lot of stuff. We're currently doing a garden fence. If you saw my Instagrams over there, a fence around our garden. So with that, we're going to terrace that to where hopefully the water doesn't drain off. It's all full of wood chips, but it's weird. Like in Houston, whenever we had wood chips, after a few months, you would dig down there and it was just so broken down and moist, and it would already turn the soil that fast. Here, you dig down a little bit and it looks like there's been no water on those chips down below. So we're trying to, and then that's part of trying to get the rainwater over there to the garden.
But there are some cool ideas that you have, like a rain gutter in the planters and coming from. So there's some cool projects that we're doing, because I think you can solve problems anytime you just look around a little bit more. Like we were talking about research.
I'm going to build the Daniel Arms from Arms Family Homestead, his wicking beds, which I think is from Gardening with Leon out in Oklahoma. So we're going to do some wicking beds like that to just see if that helps, to see if hey, do we need a whole lot more water here in Central Texas than we did in Houston? The
answer to that is heck yes. Heck yes. So there has been a big learning curve. We were just saying this yesterday as we walked through the garden. We have 4 garden beds that are working right now, but that's a start. And we have some potatoes that we were just researching if they're getting close to being harvested. But yeah, there's a lot of shift in expectations, because what we used to measure success by really had a higher platform to jump off of. We're really starting at ground zero with everything. Hey, High Desert Homestead. Are we planning on doing more videos per week? Do you want me to answer this or you?
Sure, you start and then I'll wrap it up.
So that's a great question. We actually did a little experiment at the end of last year regarding if we produce more videos, what's the end result? And what we found after 30 days of doing videos was probably more than these 2 things, but this is what stuck out to me. So you'll have to jump in here. So at the end of those 30 videos, what we found was Bo was super burnt out. we edit on this. He does all the work. He edits on a very small laptop, and for him, holds a lot of tension here. It was just not a healthy thing for him to be shooting every day and editing every day. So we decided, what does it look like to cut it back? The second thing was, Bo was not having fun. Like, if you have a job and you get to choose that job, it better be fun, because if you're choosing jobs that make you miserable, maybe you're not a very good chooser of things. So instead, we shifted that and we realized, well, we weren't making more money doing 30 videos in 30 days.
With YouTube.
Right. We weren't engaging more people 30 videos in 30 days than we were doing one video a week with a bonus about something we were super excited about that would help you homestead better. And then when we moved to just one video a week, Bo was happier. We got way more projects done, because if you don't know the process of like all our favorite homestead channels, the Rhodes, the Haulers, all these people who are doing videos every single day are taking so much time and effort to bring you something amazing. And that means that sometimes they're doing triple the work to relocate a camera and then edit that video at the end of the day, not only to entertain you, but to educate you and invite you into their lives. And that was just something we decided wasn't for us.
Yeah, it's a very good question. Very good. And I don't know.
Yeah, in another season, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Right, we've found a good little stride of doing one video every Sunday. Like this week, like I didn't want to edit on my birthday weekend, and that's just how. And Kelly came up with a good idea of doing a live, and I love it. This is an awesome idea that we get to hang out with you. It works well for me in how our family is with doing one video a week.
Yeah.
I will say that we did not move from the hustle and bustle, the fast-paced life of suburbia to live on our property just to work a ton. I want to enjoy my family. That's a lot of what it is. And what Jack Spirko says this, he said it many times, is that like sometimes being self-employed, you'll realize that business A is what you love.
Yeah.
Like business A is this thing that you really, really enjoy. And then you start doing something with business B. And business B, you don't love it as much, but it's easier. You can do it faster.
Yeah.
And it pays you more. Well, whenever you do all the things where it's you're weighing the difference between business A and business B starts looking better. And it was just a challenge that I wanted to do 30 videos in 30 days. And I realized that we were getting good engagement, but it just wasn't profitable. In terms of here on YouTube and a lot of other things, since we've been doing one video a week, guys, I'm really excited to say this just because we've been doing our YouTube channel since 2016. I feel like that's been a long time. We're at 90,000 subscribers. Yeah. I'm excited that we're about to hit 100,000 subscribers. I was doing the trend. It might happen within the next month and a half, maybe 2 months. But
can I jump in with one cool thing?
Hold on. Whenever we've niched down to shed to house, rabbits, and a little bit of pigs, the channel has really taken off. I'll let you.
Well, that's what I was going to say is during that 30 videos in 30 days, how many subs did you lose?
I lost about 20 per video.
A day, guys. But here's
you don't make money off of subscribers.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Those were people who weren't here for what we're here for. And in those 30 days, we really found out what we were here for. And we're here for you guys who are here. And that's a good thing. If you're doing any kind of marketing, any kind of self-driven business, you're not here for everyone. And everyone's not here for you. And it doesn't make them bad or you bad. You have to show up for the message that you have to carry. And if you're doing anything outside of that, it's not authentic. And for us, we're really passionate about being debt-free in our 30s. We're really passionate about people sort of peeling back the layers of what you know to be true just to ask the questions. And most people do not ask the questions. And then they get stuck in habits that they never really chose themselves anyways. So I hope we empower you to do that a little bit just by seeing what we do, not because our way is the right way for everyone, but everybody has a right way, and it probably doesn't look like your next door neighbor. So yeah, niching down and losing subscribers was a great thing for us.
I do think that I would like to try to get to one video on Sunday and possibly one more in the middle of the week. And
highlighting other people who are doing things different their own way. Like, gosh, like to share with you somebody who's looking at what's on their curb and turning it out to cash and tinkering around in their garden. That's amazing. Our friends, Sunshine Farm New York, Jen and Chris, they are doing an incredible job with a plant-based homestead. That's really exciting. Julie, you asked something specific. This is the one thing that I recommend everyone in Houston getting. It's a book by Bob Randall. It's kind of hard to see with the shadow. But get this, if you want to garden in Houston, you're going to enjoy the breakdown of each area and each season and the risks and what you should grow and when. I wish every area had a Bob Randall book because it's
literally
thorough.
like for Harris County, Houston.
It's incredible.
It's like, because it's a different animal there.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything?
Important.
All right,
what's below and what's on top. Protecting your garden and food. Yeah, it is definitely important to know, especially the pests that are after your garden. That's for sure. You know how to go after them.
Okay, going back. Sorry, Ganonfly has good stuff. He's saying, and put in any questions. We're going to probably wrap this up in like the next 20 minutes or so.
He's giving me a lot of extra time.
Okay. So what is next for Better Together Life, and when is the rabbit course going to launch?
I'm going to let you talk about the rabbit course. Guys, I did not think that would blow up the way it's blowing up. This is exciting, especially because we've even had a few moments this year where we're like, do we keep doing rabbits? And
no,
the answer always comes back to yes, but we're like,
we had a big loss.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't actually put this on the channel. So I haven't told, have you seen the comments? Like evidently in Texas, there is a wild rabbit disease. We did have one rabbit, Kindle, like have baby bunnies, kits, on pasture because we needed to separate her. And they all three died. Like the bunnies got older for, so I don't know, maybe that was it. Maybe it was this, I need to go back in the notes. I haven't researched it yet because it was my birthday. But yeah, so the rabbit course is coming. One thing I definitely want to do is I want to hire someone over on Fiverr to do a full cut list and build of our rabbit hutch.
Yeah.
Because I want to give that to you guys for free. A lot of people ask for that. Yeah, I want to give that to y'all. Also want to build a couple of other different ones to be able to give away. And then just to start filming it for a raising rabbits 101. So I think, it's going to be definitely this midsummer.
Yeah, from breeding to processing.
Yeah.
There's a lot we can't show you here on YouTube. And YouTube, definitely censors what they feel is appropriate and what isn't. So there are things that we can't show you here that we can only show you in a rabbit course.
Yeah, the rabbit course is not going to go huge into what a vet is going to tell you about. Because just being honest, I don't have time to be able to do like all that. Like if you have, I'm going to talk about shy buck syndrome and breeding, like whenever you're having breeding troubleshooting. But in terms of things like things that I know that a lot of people are going to need to know eventually, but it's really not the basics of rabbits, of mites and any kind of diseases. I'm going to be like whenever these things people started talking to me, I was like kind of second guessing, am I able to handle a lot of those things? So those are some of the things that we might hold off and really do some extra interviews and be able to outsource other experts. But based off of the basics of getting bunnies, raising them, breeding,
Fodder
processing.
to grow for them.
It's going to be a lot on recipes, y'all, about like how to cook rabbits. Like we love us some sourdough rabbit pot pie
It's really good.
and smoked rabbit. It's really good. So hopefully, it is going, not hopefully, mid all of the summer this year.
Hey, Walker Farm fam. Glad you guys are here. So what's next for us is a couple of things. We're going into summer. Summer is hot here. So we're probably looking at more inside projects. We will be processing the pigs in a couple of weeks. Well, Bo says couple months. I say couple weeks, several weeks. So later in the summer, we'll be processing those. We're adding new chickens. We're getting chickens from McMurray Hatchery this summer. I know we've got a tractor to build, and those will be meat birds.
Yes.
Then we have, what else? We have hopefully our shed to house second 2.0 is coming for our office. And
that's the biggest thing.
I think those are, we don't have like tons and tons of things. We just have some really significant things. And then honestly, for me, it's like connecting with our people as soon as they're ready to connect. Like, I feel like that part of me, I've had my break during this whole quarantine thing. And if you haven't had yours, you will have it. Used all the oils, all the prayer, all the supplements, and then ate a lot of fried food. And it was great. And now we're back and needing to get on track with all the things. And I hope that that's the same for you. You have your moment, and then those feelings, they launch and they land. And we've got some business stuff that's happening. We're launching some new doTERRA teams, so that's really exciting too. Hey, Roxanne from Arkansas. You haven't missed out. You just get to go back and watch it. You're good.
Eric asks, what's the number one thing that we have learned since getting animals? Dude, if I had more time to think of it, I might think of something better than this, but I think this is a pretty good one. Rotating animals is harder than you think. Like, it takes
higher maintenance.
It's like doing pasture-based rotational grazing of animals, like, moving the chicken. It's more often than not, I'm putting it off a week or maybe two more than I need to. Like, the pigs should have been moved last week. It's not going to hurt the pigs, but it's not great for our land. And they're not, the more I rotate them, just being honest, the more you rotate the pigs, the faster they can grow because they'll have more for forage. So that is something that I would say is rotating animals on pasture takes more time. That's one reason why I'm just not interested in goats, because it's huge. Not only I would have to rotate goats, but I would be fighting them to be able to do this. So we, in terms of the pigs, I would feel more comfortable rotating more often probably if I had a better perimeter fence. So right now our perimeter is fenced with barbed wire. So if I had these smaller sections done with a good strong field fence or sheep or goat fence with paddocks, that's probably what I would want to do before I get pigs again. Is really have some more dedicated, electric paddocks with like a gate to where all I have to do is just open the gate and then the animals go to the next paddock. That's what professional farmers, they eventually get to that. I really dislike electric netting. It
is challenging.
It's not fun. You can do so much good stuff with it, but it's a pain. And a lot of the times, I'm just being honest, I'm doing it by myself because Kelly is inside either needing to work or with the kids or cooking.
All day long.
Yes. The boys, Ollie and Everett, help me. But it really is like at times it's a two adult.
More than one person makes it easier, but it's still complicated. It's just kind of like if you have kids and they don't brush their hair every day, and then they come to you and they're like, brush my hair. That's how tangled the netting can get.
Well, maybe like the shocker knot netting and a brand new net, because we were given our netting. And so it's really loose and like it's older. Yeah. It's got some life on it. So we have to reinforce like every middle. Yeah. And maybe that's why. Maybe if we bought brand new netting from Poultry, Premier One, that it would be better. That's my number one thing that I would say.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
How are our kids not interrupting? They're their grandparents. Their gift to Bo was have our kids for the weekend. And I know did you do that on purpose? Like frame us under that?
No, but it was going this way whenever we were watching the movie. So that's guys, so here's our projector screen right there. And then move your head, Kelly. So that's the projector right there. So this goes down, and that's our little shed to movie theater.
Shed to theater. That's so funny.
I know. Okay. Last comments.
Yeah, last questions, because we want to honor your time. Thank you guys for being here with us. Hi from the UK. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Michael and Lori. Okay, let's do. Okay, any questions? Otherwise, okay, what about stationary? Okay, so Matthew asked, what about stationary posts that grid out your paddocks? Yes, that's what I'm meaning. Mm-hmm. Exactly, like having more permanent paddocks to paddock rotate shift animals. Exactly, yeah.
I'd also say, like, our kids are a huge help with our animals. Every morning, Ollie and Ella have chores to go out and take care of the animals.
Because they want to.
Yeah,
and we pay them.
They want to. Whether we paid them or not.
Well,
I feed them. I feel like that's enough. But they are actually only one of our children's motivated by money. I think one of them was like, someone else can have my dollar. But the truth of it is, that was a huge reason to move out here and to take on animals, is because we knew the kids would be helpers with them. So they take care of the feedings in the morning, and they're happy to check on them throughout the day. But the moving is definitely a grown-up gig at the time. Remember, our kids are 9
and under.
9, 7, 5, and 3. So we have a lot of training up to do with them, and we're training ourselves up at the same time. And
we also cleared our home site where we're mainly rotating, and so with a dozer. And so where the chickens usually are rotated, it's hard rock. Yeah. Like it was just, so it's hard. Okay, I'm going to do rapid fire with some of these. We've already talked about the pandemic.
You're right.
Which animal would you suggest to be a rookie homesteader? First animal. And what would be your recommendation if they don't want to do rabbits? Oh man, Josh, you got me.
Obviously chickens.
Chickens, yeah.
It's an easy answer.
I've always said it's not. I said rabbits before chickens, not rabbits instead of chickens.
Right.
If you had to choose one, go with chickens. But many of us don't have to choose one, so I would say rabbits and then chickens because they pair. So like. Some of our chickens get out of the netting, and I've clipped their wings and they still fly out. Yeah. They go straight underneath the rabbits.
Yeah.
Every single day. That's their home base. They go, I need to put like a waterer over there.
We should.
Yeah, they would like that. And they love it under there because they get all the good stuff. Okay, let's see. Is our shed complete?
No. We have a bathroom still to complete, and then our bedroom needs some trims on the doors. We were just talking about this 2 days ago. We were like, I think if we do this and this, then we're totally done. There's going to be a vent hood and some more shelves in the kitchen. But remember, like, we don't want to take out debt with this. And some people will look at this and say, this is way too lavish. You spent too much on this. We're comfortable and we're happy living here. So again, it's not going to be the jam for every single person. This is what we want in our home. And we're following the principles that we have laid out for our family, which is don't spend more. We took out a temporary debt so that we could do some of the bigger things, and we've already paid that off. So those were priorities for us. And if we'd had different priorities, we might be living in a different type of house.
Yeah.
But this is what we wanted, and I really like it.
Yeah, I think we're going to pay off the car. We have like maybe $2,300 left on our Honda Pilot. And we'll probably pay that off within the next, definitely before June.
Then it's
Once
just
we
the
get,
property.
get paid on a couple of like doTERRA and YouTube stuff, and then we'll pay that off. So we waited on paying it off because of COVID.
I know.
We're
It
just,
got
we
weird. Things
yeah.
got weird.
Okay, Josh said you don't have to ask every question. They're so good though.
And Josh,
They're
everybody
killer.
needs a Josh as a friend. He's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Yes, the internet did work well for the live stream. Thank goodness.
See, complete.
I agree, Gigi.
Who
And
inspires? He
Gigi
asked,
said this though.
Oh.
Gigi said comfort is key and comfort equals happiness. I
Yep.
agree with that, Gigi. If you're moving, like, here's the number one questions we get. Where do I start? And how do I convince my spouse to do this? Guys, you don't. You don't convince your spouse to do this. If you really want this, then, and you feel like this is what your family has led to, then you pray and you wait. And you do the little things that, like for Bo, hell yes. And I have no problem saying that word. Hell yes. I made him learn how to unclog our sink before we moved. I made sure that he was going to garden in Katy, Texas and clean up after the gardening project. Because there was no way I was going to move out here without us knowing these little things. So if you want to do this, then you start to show your spouse right there that you're willing to do all those things in a small space with little risk. And then when you get out here, like, choose the things that you want to do. Because if we wanted to just jump out and do all of the animals, that would have been fine if that's where we wanted to put our effort. But we wanted to live here and enjoy it. And we knew that we needed some more things like water and AC for our family. That's not every family. But for our family, that was really important to be comfortable, because we knew if we did that, we could last a much longer time. And now we've been here for almost 2 years.
Well,
Almost 2 years in the fall. It'll be 2 years.
so we sold our house May
I know.
31st.
I know.
We closed.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's
That's crazy.
almost 2 years since we
That's
are no
insane.
longer suburban. Margaret does say exactly what Kelly says. Because then you can concentrate on all the outside.
Exactly.
And a lot of that's what we've done. Like, we have a kitchen island that's not completely done, but it's functional and
it's not bad. Like, everything is what we want it to be. We also are learning some good lessons because we thought we had an idea of what we wanted something to be like, and then it shifted. Then that didn't become, some things didn't become priorities, and then other things that we didn't even have on our radar were much more important to us. So I like the slow and steady additions or builds.
So you see our stairs over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fully complete. It still looks like shed stairs.
Because I haven't decided what I want.
Our kitchen island is not, it's rough framed here with 2x4s, and we have a temporary countertop on top. Yeah. Our master bathroom does not have a sink. It doesn't have floor. It doesn't have the shower. All it has is a toilet. It's half painted. So I'll ask this. When the guest house office is dropped back there, what's more important? These inside projects or that?
Do you have an answer for that?
I would like to know you.
My answer is the shed. Like
the office.
Yeah, the office.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons that we'll probably go into as it gets here.
It's just
Lord willing.
It's more. Yeah. Once we get our guest house office space, we can do so much more content. Mm-hmm. Like if whenever you're asking, can I do more videos? Totally, I can do more videos whenever I can just set up a controlled environment there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what else?
I think that's it.
Okay. Last one.
Yeah. You were.
Josh wanted to say who online or YouTube channel inspires you? Us, but I'm gonna say who do you watch? Who inspires you? Instagram, whatever.
Guys, I don't watch YouTube. Okay, but there is a core group of people that I will go to that I trust for everything from like a product that they recommend to like ways that they inspire. So obviously we all love Jess at Roots and Refuge. Meg Holler is like my girl. Like she is my go-to on a hard day. And I had some hard days during quarantine. I am just texting her. I'm like, all right, help get me through this. Let's talk through this. not because I don't have friends like IRL, like in real life. Those are also my people. But when you're doing something weird, you need to find the other weird people because they have a unique insight into that. And that could be any kind of sort of against the grain thing that you do. If you want to get out of debt, you got to start hanging out with people who get out of debt. So for homesteading, that's for sure me. There's some really cool people that I follow on Instagram that I just love. If you're like we don't go super into this and you guys might unfollow us because of this, but I really like, for more like solid news or nonpartisan news, I like Echo Unafraid. I really like Rose Uncharted. These are all people Bo has no idea who they are. But it's all like commentary on what we're all seeing, peeling back these layers of like, all right, what's actually happening during this time of all of us being on lockdown? What's this really all about? Kind of boils down to a lot of like spiritual truths. So I would say that's probably where I spend the most of my time, like turning on the prayer room at IHOP Kansas City, or worship music in our own house, reading the Bible, talking to my girlfriends about like what's really true happening here, what makes sense. So I wouldn't say I get a lot of inspiration from YouTube, but I do follow like beautiful spaces on Instagram, things that are like lovely and good. I'm just not that interested in only hearing about someone else's journey so I can apply it or compare it to mine, because that's a real thing that I have, is like looking at other people and feeling like we're doing less or not enough. Maybe that strikes a chord for you guys, but like to look at someone else and compare my day 1 to their day 701 is not fair to them or me. It actually steals from what they've worked to accomplish to day 701. So I get a lot more inspired by walking in our own back pasture and just seeing how crazy things work without any intervention, that remind me like I don't have to fix myself. I don't have to try and be something that I'm not yet. That was deeper than what you wanted, Josh. That's not what you were asking. But yeah, there are obviously channels that we follow, especially at the beginning, that have now become friends. And that's a sweet, sweet thing, to find people. Oh, you know who I will say is awesome, inspiring, that does not get enough credit. But Amy Fuel is one of my absolute favorite people for real news and information, for wisdom and insight, and for her incredible everything from recipes to herbalism. She is amazing. If you guys do not follow Amy Fuel at the Fuel Homestead,
I think she's created
Homesteaders of America. Yeah, like talk about people who are dreamers who do. That is someone that I would say I love Amy Fuel.
Mm-hmm. That's
Anybody
good.
else?
Yeah.
How about you? Oh, we also used to watch a lot of Casey Neistat. Like we watch a lot less, but his old stuff is so good.
Well, he doesn't post.
Yeah, but his old stuff is so good.
Oh,
and
it's great.
Like, dang, that was a lot of love that went into that 10 minutes.
That was in the beginning of, and I'll say exactly what Kelly says. You know, I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I watch way too much news on it's not productive. But yes, I struggle with comparing. Mm-hmm. I have struggled with comparing the speed at which what we're doing in terms of growing YouTube, in terms of growing and developing our property. And maybe that makes me watch less, but I listen.
We're also busy.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. I listen to more podcasts than I watch YouTube.
I do too.
I don't stop watching YouTube because anytime that let me say this.
That's true.
Like, I do more specific project research on YouTube more than I follow like a daily thing, because I just don't have the time at the moment. So like we just now did our automatic pig waterer. Like I took a 55-gallon drum, got a pig nipple with a bulkhead fitting, which is basically just like a clamp that it does so that you can screw in that. And so I watch Lumna Acres, Al Lumna. I also watched Justin, how he did it. and then a couple of other people on there that I don't really remember.
Mm-hmm.
Also like a Homestead dad.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him on Marco Polo, and he said that all of his, because he's doing a lot of pigs, he said he does bulkhead fittings. So then for the wicking beds, Daniel Arms from Arms Family Homestead, and then also Keeping It Dutch, he did those same things. So I watched some of those videos. It's just these specific videos for each project.
And I was watching Roots and Refuge last night on tomatoes because that's really the thing that's growing right now. So I think that's pretty fair is we go to YouTube for specific things to help us, which is amazing. Guys, it's amazing that people will take the time, effort, and work. And it's not just for their AdSense from Google, guys. Like, it is their heart and desire and belief in this whole food movement and people getting back to the earth that they create these videos because, man, these content creators really have a heart for their viewers. And I am so thankful that people have done that because, like, that rabbit niche is really more or less, I'm going to go learn from somebody else before I'm going to like share that with you guys. And then I always want to give them credit because that was huge for me of like just learning last night for over 20 minutes with Jess at Roots and Refuge about my tomatoes and what I can do to take care of them and help them produce better. And I think people whose philosophies line up with yours. So I think that's probably what we do most of.
Yeah. Matthew Thomas said, Jack Spirko. I don't do. I mean, I
do more books.
Yeah, Kelly does.
Yeah.
I love this book. Like, I read this book, once a week, just kind of like trying to dream because this is what I want our property to be. Like, literally, I love this book. So Jack Spirko, the Survival Podcast. You pick nuggets. He's not someone that I would like grab on spiritually, but I love the guy. Like I give him. I'm a part of his membership. I give him $50 a year every year because I listen to every single one of his stuff because he
get something from everyone.
His one tagline of teaching you to live a better life if times get tough or even if they don't. You guys, I bought this property because I thought Jesus was coming back.
2015, yeah.
I really thought the world was ending. And that the economic collapse.
We were going to have to bug out. And
blood moon, like everything. I thought that it was big deal, and it didn't happen. And I changed to where I just wanted to be with my family in space.
It was a wake up, though. It's like it did. What you thought was going to happen didn't happen, but what was happening was so important for the formation.
But like we made, in my opinion, I hope so. We made our life better.
Yeah.
When everything was great. And then this happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow.
That's
a lot of people texted me like, wow, Bo, you saw this coming years ago. I'm like, I didn't see like this coming, but I'll be honest. I'm super glad that we were not
still in Katy.
Yeah. So lots of things. I don't know. That was a big one. Okay. Yes.
Bountiful and beautiful. Absolutely, Catherine.
Okay, guys, do y'all have anything else we're going to give you to the rest of your Sunday?
Yeah, so, like, if you want to know more about when these things are going to happen, then you can go to our website. I think there's a opt-in to, like, know more about our shed to house or something like that. Maybe we should make one about, like, YouTube notes. But,
we just need it, yeah.
Yeah, but for now, you can do that. There's you choose shed to house or essential oils. Or you can follow us on Instagram, and Bo is Better Together Life, and I'm Better Together Wife. And we can help you guys connect with us here or connect with us there. That's honestly, if you've ever messaged me, my response is like, this is my favorite thing to do. It really is. Like, I could just sit here and be like, oh my gosh, hi, so-and-so from such and such. Let's talk. Like, it's the best thing. Putting people to the names and we're grateful. We're grateful for you taking time to view with us. Time is a commodity you don't get back. And we know that when you spend it with us, it's a gift to us. So thank you. And for sharing your stories with us, you don't have to do that. It is the coolest thing that internet can be one of those things that divides and distracts, or a thing that invites you in. So thanks for being a part of what we're into, and we hope that we're really supportive of what you guys are about too, because this is a pretty unique, amazing time to be alive.
Yeah.
Well, I like how we did that at the same time.
Oh, also
Like
go over to Shed the House Facebook group. Matthew said.
Yeah.
I'll try to put that down in the comments here in a second. The chat. Okay. Love you guys. Y'all are awesome. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.